Hello guys, I've been making this video with everything we know so far about the divorce of Joe Jonas, aka Mr. Perfectly Fine, and me, Sophie Turner, aka the Queen of North. But first, don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss what we're baking with your fave celebs' latest info. With this story, the tea is overflowing, which doesn't come as a surprise considering there's a breed involved. It came as quite a shock when many outlets started reporting the divorce of actress Sophie Turner and musician Joe Jonas, especially since at the moment that the news broke, Joe was still wearing his wedding band on his tour and there wasn't any indication that this was coming. Quickly followed by the divorce news, a massive report on Sophie being the cause of it and Joe making the hard decision to split started to flood the media. The claims were that while Sophie had been filming in England, she was partying too much and not worrying about her mother duties. Others were reporting that Joe heard Sophie say something on a Ring camera that opened his eyes and made him want to seek out the separation. But mostly what we could see clearly is that this was a massive smear campaign orchestrated by Joe's PR team to make Sophie look as bad as possible. And honestly, I feel like they underestimated the public's capability to see right through it, since everyone quickly caught on and sided with Sophie. I want to dig a bit into Joe's most problematic dating history. Everyone in some relationships could end up as the bad guy and in others as the good guy. But Joe has some particular history that got my attention and makes me believe that the smear campaign is not something we couldn't expect from him. First, we have the well-known Taylor Swift breakup, which he decided to do over a phone call that lasted less than a minute. Of course, we can blame it all on the fact that he used to be young, as Miley Cyrus says on her new song, but it's very eye-catching considering that Sophie Turner claims she found out about the divorce just like us, the common folks, through the media. So now I'm not seeing a young mistake, I'm seeing a pattern. Second, we were all very entertained when the power couple G.I. Joe rose to the scene. The couple formed by Joe and model Gigi Hadid. It was eye-catching, both gorgeous, it boy and it girl, and to throw a little bit of spice, they used to hang out with Gigi's BFF and Joe's ex, the aforementioned Taylor Swift. They were also each other's last relationship until they got together with their biggest partners to date. Gigi moved on to Saint Malik, the now father of her child Kai, and Joe moved on to his now soon-to-be ex-wife Sophie Turner. But finally, what I find most interesting about this relationship is not how it ended, but how it started. The former couple met at the Grammys in 2008 when Joe was 19 and Gigi was only a 13-year-old. They are known to have met through her stepfather at the time, David Foster, who is a well-known music producer in the industry. Joe asked her out to a baseball game and she very smartly declined because not only was there an age difference very important at the time since she was a minor and he wasn't, but there was also a big power imbalance since he was a very famous musician and she was just a teen. I bring this to light because you may or may not know, but Sophie and Joe also have an age difference. And I'm not here to crucify anyone for a number difference, but it makes a big impact when one person is getting close to 30 and the other one is beginning their life as an adult in their early 20s. When they got together, even though Sophie was of age and already a pretty well-known name, thanks to her character Sansa Stark on Game of Thrones, she was still a fairly new adult, while Joe had been managing fame and being an adult for quite some time. The whole Gigi Hadid thing makes me wonder if he just loves no matter the age or if he's looking to have a power imbalance in the relationship to always call the shots. He married Sophie when she was a bit young, at the age of 23, and then had one kid after another. And now that she's wiser, starting to get back to acting, and suddenly he decides to divorce her without a previous conversation. Seems like he's trying to once again be able to manipulate her and the situation. Somebody seems to be taking notes from Taylor Swift and going from Mr. Perfectly Fine to Mastermind. Speaking of Taylor, yes, she comes back again in the narrative, but now in her vigilante shit. For the non-Swifties, meaning she's here to back Sophie and help her get out of the situation on top. Which seems to be working since we've been seeing the two of them out and about having dinners in NYC and at NFL games supporting Taylor's rumored new partner, Travis Kelce. Sophie seems to be calm and determined to handle the situation the best she can. And from my perspective, she looks like she has nothing to hide or fear, since most claims against her have already been proven fake by fans. The claim that she's been partying non-stop and abandoning her motherly duties simply doesn't add up, since she's been described by herself and Joe as the homebody of the relationship by a TikTok made during the pandemic.
Who fell in love first? Who's more annoying when they're hungry? Who's the homebody in the relationship? Who's more spoiled? Who's more grumpy?
and the only proof of partying is her at a work party for her latest acting project. Fans have also uncovered that the fake accusations were probably generated to help Joe in the custody battle for their 2 daughters, since the family was known to be looking to settle down in England, already on the hunt for a house and schools, but now Joe is looking to keep the kids in the US. Since both the kids probably have dual citizenship but were born in America, Joe seemed to have the upper hand while things were getting settled, mostly because, according to Sophie, Joe was withholding the kids' passports. Whether those accusations were true or not, she made the right call to stay in the US. Luckily for Sophie, Taylor allowed her to stay at her New York apartment to be close to the kids. Now, thankfully, the former couple had a 4-day mediation, and they have both agreed that their daughters will reside with Sophie until October 21st. She's allowed to travel between the US and the UK during that time, and Joe has them until November 2nd. They will continue this until January 2024. If you're wondering about the holidays that are approaching, well, you aren't the only one. It is said that Joe will have the kids on Thanksgiving and Sophie on Christmas. Later, Sophie and Joe released a joint statement saying that they are looking forward to being great co-parents and now having their kids live equally between loving homes in both the US and the UK. After this statement was revealed, Joe dismissed his Miami petition for a divorce, and he and Sophie planned to pursue an amicable resolution. Now, this situation had many fans wondering if all this drama had been for nothing because they were going to continue the marriage. But it seems that they are still going to separate, which was made clear by their statement to co-parent. Maybe they are just going to handle the divorce in the UK since Sophie had a petition there. But at least it seems like things have fastly cooled down and that now the situation may be handled more privately going forward. This split has been a roller coaster of emotions for the fans, but I'm glad to see things are moving more amicably. Now tell me, what do you guys think, or how are you feeling with this whole situation? I would love to hear your thoughts. Are you Team Joe Bro or Queen of North? Let me know down below. Don't forget to subscribe to see what we're baking for our next video.